Carl and Damon here from Games, Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's They Made What into a TV series. Season 2, episode 18. Good Clop, Bad Clop. That's funny. And Announce This. Aired June 29th, 2008 on YTV. You know how this goes. It's segment number 1. We're going to talk it through. Good Clop, Bad Clop. I find that funny. Hudson is a police officer. We see him chasing down a criminal. But of course, it ends up being a movie. Hudson's director yells cut after Hudson screws up the scene, and Hudson insists, look, I can get this right. However, his director suggests you might not be cut out for the tough guy role as you're a bit too soft. It's a film, guy. Wanting to prove himself, Hudson decides to join the actual Pinata police force to learn how to be tough, but ends up finding a lazy, uninterested force. It's not just because they can't be bothered, though. It's because, unsurprisingly, crime doesn't really happen on the island. Frustrated, Hudson contacts the captain, demanding action. He gets some when he holds the donuts hostage. So I do like comedy like that.
Yeah.
The captain relents and gives Hudson the book laws, which include many that are silly. He's given a badge and made an honorary member of the force. The first pinata to fall foul of Hudson, it's Franklin, who's arrested for carrying too many apples without wearing a bonnet. He's also charged with not owning a bonnet and admitted to not owning one either. We then get a montage of Hudson arresting other pinatas. Teddy and Tina are arrested for not blowing out birthday candles on the first blow. Langston is arrested for dropping the top scoop of his ice cream cone. Paulie is arrested for having too many bubbles in his bubble bath. So this is a play and a joke on real life outdated laws.
Yeah.
Like, there are many laws that still exist now in England that wouldn't be enforceable because of how stupid they are. Mm-hmm. But technically, they're still laws.
Still laws, yeah.
Technically, yes. Hudson ends up arresting the entire island population, including the other officers. When the captain tries to stop him, he is also arrested. But who's been watching this? Pester, who sees all the pinatas in jail and sees this as a great opportunity. Having arrested everyone, Hudson loses the plot and ends up trying to arrest himself, chasing his reflection in a high-speed chase before finally getting his pinata. Meanwhile, Pester has arrived and using his blimp grabs the entire jail with everyone inside, including Hudson, who has put himself away right as Pester arrived. The other pinatas are stunned by Hudson's split personality, but he ends up hearing up and smashing his way out of the jail. He then stops Pester, arrests him, and with his director revealing he filmed everything. Except he actually didn't, because the lens cap was on and they're going to have to film it all again, so they didn't get any footage. What? I don't mind this.
Yeah,
I think,
okay.
again, it's a good example of an imaginative idea.
Yeah, it was okay, yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, like, it was done quite snappy in the way Hudson's arresting everyone, but we're also getting reasons. It wasn't like Hudson was just arresting everybody. We weren't seeing why.
Yeah.
And bringing Pester into it ties it all into a neat little bow. And I weirdly like the high-speed chase with his shadow as well, his reflection.
Yeah, it's funny,
it was silly.
yeah.
It's very Hudson as well. Segment 2, Announce This. The big boss makes an announcement that they're auditioning for the position of commentator for the Party Animals Championship Challenge. Hudson figures he's going to be automatically chosen, but Simone reveals that he must audition like everyone else. Arriving at audition, he tries to skip the line, but is stunned to find out he has to go to the back. After all, he's Hudson. Why should he not have to audition and go to the back like everybody else? When he is finally allowed to audition, Hudson does what Hudson does and figures he has the job. He is called to the big boss's office where he finds out he hasn't got the job yet, and he's one of 3 that are in contention for it. The other 2 being Pierre and Pecky. The big boss is unimpressed with him though, and even less impressed when he demands they test out their commentator voice. Disgusted by everyone, the big boss kicks them out. Later, despondent, Hudson thinks the big boss hates him, but Paulie and Fergie offer to help him prepare for the next challenge. They set things up to look like a live broadcast, but Hudson ends up talking about himself non-stop. So there's Hudson's problem.
Yep.
He isn't commentating on the sport, he's commentating on himself.
Yeah.
They end up taking him to Quackberry to stop him talking about himself, and Quackberry uses negative enforcement to stop Hudson talking about himself. Every time he says I or references himself, he gets electrocuted. That'll work.
Yeah.
Furious, Hudson tries to attack Quackberry but ends up falling over. He does get an idea though, one that sees him thinking he can use others to get him the job. Cut to a live event where the final showdown will take place to decide who gets the job. All 3 pinatas are in a blimp over the track with the task of commentating on it. The big boss is very rude here to them, I think. As the race starts, the commentators start to talk about it, but Pierre and Pecky are taking shots at each other, so they're not really commentating either. It's Hudson's turn, and we see that he is Paulie and Fergie feeding him lines from a truck. He's cheating. Yeah. It starts off well, with Fergie giving Hudson knowledge to share, but he gets distracted by a dessert ad, and of course Hudson just starts to repeat what he says. Paulie takes over, but his instructions are misunderstood, and Hudson ends up repeating everything again, and it basically looks like he's fucked it up totally. However, Pecky and Pierre end up in a fight, and Hudson starts to commentate on that. He does a great job, and the big boss arrives impressed, but not with Hudson. Here's the twist. He's impressed with Pecky and Pierre's fighting and wants them both to host the show going forward. Hudson is shocked and ejected when they leave with the big boss. Seeing as Paulie and Fergie talk about taking shifts, and we see them offering compliments to Hudson, something he seems to be encouraging. Finally, we see a Fizzly Bear finishing the race to find that no one is there and no one cares. And I was like, isn't that a good summation of the show sometimes? No one's there, nobody cares, and that's that. This segment, while crap, I think it's crap as well, has one thing I like, and it's really for the future. This is now going to become a canon part of the show. Pecky and Pierre will be the commentators on other events going forward. We'll see them in a blimp.
Yep.
Yeah.
First time, I think they've actually done a sort of a continuing sort of.
No, they've had a few. We've had a few continuity things.
Minor things, yeah.
Beverly Badgersicle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've had a few, but like this is a good example of where later on. Now it's irrelevant for this episode because right now it doesn't matter for this segment, but it will come back in a later episode and so on.
I noticed that the big boss seems to be in a more and more now too. So.
He does keep popping up. I don't know how I feel about that really because it's just like whatever he says goes anyway.
Yeah.
So what difference does any of it makes? But this is where there's just 2 crap segments in one episode really. Nothing special here and certainly nothing to get excited about. Season 2 episode 18, Good Clop, Bad Clop, and Announce This. You got any thoughts you know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.